The game starts long before the game starts. You get your gear right, your keyboard, your controller, your controller's controllers, and the keys to your keyboard. Because warm hands are faster hands. Gain the upper hand and power up your pregame warm-up with Zippo hand warmers.
Finally, you can stay in control of your thumbsticks. Natural evolution gave the Gecko its amazingly strong grip. Our multi-patented Soniqs technology duplicates the microstructured fibers on a gecko's foot for a revolutionary new way to get a grip on game controller thumbsticks. Like a gecko's foot, the thousands of microstructures on each Soniqs anti-slip thumbstick grip provide high friction to the skin surface for a secure, comfortable grip, even when sweaty, giving you a competitive advantage. Stay in control with the secure and comfortable grip of Soniqs thumbstick grips. Inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Welcome back, Valorant fans, to the last chance qualifier here for the North American VALORANT Challengers, where our final two teams are right in the middle. They're in the thick of it, duking it out for the final spot, as we've got Soniqs taking on Esports. We're one map in, where we went 23 rounds on Pearl. A comeback was imminent, but was able to close it out, and we've got our stats for that last one, so we can quickly run through that one, Keg, get the viewers caught up who are just joining us, and then get on in to Fracture.
Yeah, a lot of big strengths here. You can see it right here. First picks going heavily in OR's favor. Heavily.
Well, that was the decider yesterday. Squirtle Squad, both maps, had more first kills. So for Esports to flip that script, that's huge.
And we talked about that mid-game, too, that OR just looked a lot more refined and a lot more faster than yesterday. And I think a lot of that had to do with them seeing their loss on Squirtle Squad, going back, reviewing the footage, and being like, okay, let's fix this up. Let's do things differently. And a lot of it wasn't even like big picture changes from OR's side. They were employing the same exact strats. It just looked a lot more concise in how they wanted to execute it. And one big factor, I think, had to do with Nilly. We've been talking about Nilly ad nauseum. But I mean, the potential anti-flash turret, looking to like every single vector of a site that you could. It's just small little pieces like that lead to a much larger puzzle. And that could be now OR having a map lead.
Yeah, and you know what? You said that we talked about Nilly at nauseum. In my notes, in my notes, in writing into this one, I wrote for Nilly, had an off day. Yesterday was probably the worst day we've seen out of Nilly AZ. And that feels horrible because he's usually doing great things for the team. So for him to have such a slow day yesterday when it mattered the most, he really needed to step up today, and he did just that. He showed us not only in MVP for the team with kills, combat score, first kills being 5, by the way, but you can look at a couple of rounds that the lockdown was just so important. You can look at the Stinger round. You can look at the 2 lockdown rounds where he buys time and Soniqs can't actually hit a site properly. They run all the way back to A, they lose that round. The very last round of the game, right, where it's a lockdown down, spraying through, everybody has to back away, they're scrambling to get the... Nilly had such a good map 1, and that's exactly what Esports needed, because he did not show up yesterday, but he's making up for it today.
And see, I'm glad you brought that up too, that Nilly had an off day, because Nilly being that Sentinel role is paramount and so important for the 2 maps they had to play yesterday. I would say Fraction Pearl right now might be the most Sentinel heavy maps you could possibly play. And Nilly underperforming, it just leads to a cascading effect of not doing well for the rest of the team. But Nilly did step it up today. Nilly did well on Pearl. The only issue is that Nilly has to keep that consistency up too, going to what is also a very important Sentinel map. We're going to Fracture next. A big deja vu moment from yesterday leading into today. But for Soniqs, this is a very important map, because every time they've gone up against OR, or back when they were called Stealing Lunch Money, they've never won a series over OR. But every deciding map too was Fracture, and they never won it.
So we've got this again, underdog story of the lower bracket run from Soniqs. They've collected 6 heads on their mantle. They need a 7th, and they've already done it. We've already seen them right their wrongs, losing series against teams and winning a rematch series So we'll see if they can do the same. As we've got our agents ready as we head out towards Fracture to take a peek. Now, the change here, and I'm wondering if it changes. I wonder if we play a bit more comfortable, because Nilly looks so good on the Killjoy, and the Killjoy can still do a lot here on Fracture. But nope, he'll lock in the Cypher anyways.
Yeah, I was going to push back on that because I think Nilly's a really good Cypher on this map. I mean, you could look at any Fracture game in LCQ and you could talk about the Cyphers and their impact defensively on B site all day long. But Nilly was a really good really good pioneer of that way earlier on in qualifiers. But no real changes here. In fact, we have a mirror mode matchup. I'm not really expecting anything too different. We were actually seeing a big 20% increase in Killjoy picks at the beginning of Open Quals. But by the time we're down here on Fracture, it's pretty much Cypher City. And you know what? Yeah. I'm here for it. I'm glad our boy's getting the time to shine now.
Yeah, I don't know. The Killjoy's so strong. The lockdown, having 200 health, is so strong. Okay, think about this, right?
I'm listening.
So what the Brimstone brings to the map is post-plant and the incendiaries, able to stall on defense, the orbital strike to clear out tower when you're hitting B, to clear out generator, canteen, whatever. Now you bring a Killjoy into the equation. Now that orbital strike, it's one less tool that you have, because you'll have to use it to stop the lockdown. You won't just be able to use it on tower to clear out the site, right? I think it really makes the Brimstone players think about how they use their orbital strike. I have to stop talking about it, though, because we don't have a Killjoy here. What we do have is the map is ready. The players are ready to get underway. It's do or die here for Soniqs as they're down a map against our Esports, and we'll see if they can get the wind in their sails as they start on the attack.
Sure, there's no Killjoy, but it does change the dynamic of the map and how attackers play it. Now, the only team that's been able to be the exception here is the Nation. They're not playing right now, so we don't have to worry about them, but they were oftentimes engaging on tower immediately into a round. Most other attacking teams don't. But it's looking like it's going to be Deathball versus Deathball again, Tanner. That 0 point may give away Pure, and it does. Oh, no. Here it comes.
And they're quick to take this space. Zeldris, quick to find that shot. I love this adjustment, though. They try and back away from it. They wanted to keep their numbers. They didn't want to bite off more than they can chew. And although Soniqs battle back for one, Jonah's there to trade it out again. So a player ahead or and they just back away and they look to play this man advantage.
And you would think this would be an escape factor here for SQ. They could rotate anywhere they want, but they're choosing to go back over to A. A minute left on the clock, and Pure, he was originally 0 pointed. Everyone else is backed off. Jonah's looking for that first contact outside of A main. The jump peek spots him out. Paint nade goes down. So much utility again.
Okay. Pure R goes nuclear here in the pistol round to leave it all up to Nilly, the guy we hyped up. Unfortunately, he has been flat backed by Mina, and Soniqs somehow, some way take the pistol.
Good lord. I mean, that was at a big deficit in the beginning too for SQ. They were on the back foot. OR over-engaged. They found the opening pick, but it just wasn't enough. And now this is where the big point in contention comes into play. This is where the Cyphers start to shine. We see already the anti-lurk tripwires coming down, but Nilly's going to be setting up on A site. This is not the right read, at least just yet. We don't know if Sonic is going to rotate back and forth like other attackers have on this map. But it's another death ball. A big aggressive lead outside of Arcade. There is that sky smoke in the way, but luckily it does allow enough time for Jonah to farm the orbs. He's getting closer to that null command, but not there just yet. The 0 points have been out for at least the defense. Soniqs, though, still have their own. But they're just farming orbs right now. And look at the mini-map. OR! They're going for this slow rotate back over to A, and for one of the first few times we can see it, this is actually the right read for a full team rotate. All of SQ right up on the top of Satellite there. At any moment, we should be seeing Pure just blast pack out to the top of tower, and it's up to these three down below it. Who could be ready? It's silent. And you can tell Jonah's ready for that blast pack, but is it gonna come?
Oh, the 0 point reveal so much. They still want to hit it, though. 3 players revealed on that. Mina gonna find the first. He pushes on through, drops from, well, drop. And now Mina and Pure have had themselves the majority of the kills on the round. Lear finally dealt with after trading back the Classic in 34 health in a 1v4. It's the best spot for Zeldris to be in. He's got no real reason not to just throw caution to the wind and send it, but he can hope for some economic damage as he taps once. That Bulldog, no way! 4 dinks from the classic, 4 headshots for 20 health. What a trade from Zeldris. It's not gonna be enough to win the round, but this guy always makes it look cool. He almost killed Pure R too.
There's 2 on a single HP left. It's up to Rooney though to be the one to clutch out the sight, and he is. That was so close. And that was all Zeldris. It wasn't economic damage, but it was definitely a statement made. Good lord. That could have been one of the greatest clutch-ups we could have seen this year. But it came so close. That was almost a 1v3. That got scary, and although he didn't find kills, there's still economic implications to that, right? Because so many players were low health that you have to rebuy shields into this round. So good damage overall from Zeldris, more than you could have hoped for in that situation. Although now he has to try and get out of dodge. Paint shells out, and 2 players were too many for Pure R to deal with. Although they were stunned up, it's Pure R who gets taken down. And Soniqs having these overwhelming forces, it does allow the mirror mode match for Lear to take down Rooney. Not a lot of flashes left for Soniqs to work with. They do have Chunk though. But now they're stuck inside of A main. Nowhere to go. Any option left is going to meet into a gunfight. Respecting that tripwire though, it's the defensive backing. Just waiting to see if anyone over-rotates, but the answer is no. Everyone on Soniqs left are inside of sand. They're trying to go one step at a time. As a singular unit, waiting for someone to overextend. Zeldris making a lot of noise to be that distraction. Being like, hey, I'm over here. Don't worry about top tower. I'm right here. But no one's top tower. Instead, it's waiting for Zeldris to be that opening pick, and Nilly and company, Lear down below, to find that 1v3.
Okay. All right, Lear. All right, Lear. He's going to cap off the sheets flawless. And yeah, I love that play because they had that high-low. I was thinking, okay, Zeldris, you were just going to get spammed, right? Top site, you're jump peeking. But even if he is getting spammed, the play was always Lear will swing and find those kills, whether it be main and Sands. And was out towards Sands, sprays down all 3 for the flawless round. That was just the bonus, but even coming back into this one, what's supposed to be the full buy round because of, again, the economic implications of the damage Zeldris did with the Classic, Mina's on a stinger.
Flash. Look at all these pings in the minimap right now for OR. They had the right read about tower. Jonah's up there. And again, that singular unit of Soniqs -1 on the lurk. They're playing it slow and they're very silent. They're not going to take rope just yet. They don't want to give themselves away, but there is that tripwire. And Soniqs are in deep right now. It's going to be so hard to rotate out. Sky Smoke's underway. Opening pick not coming out just yet, but it's Pure to find it. Pure versus Pure. Another fall. That's full B-site control. Orbital Strike suddenly out of nowhere doesn't find anybody. That was for top of tower. But Soniqs now safe for the rotate and for the post plant. They have full site control and there's nothing left for OR to take over. They're not even making an aggression towards B. They're playing for the save. Full utility too. Luckily though, Lear does have Rolling Thunder. Zeldris is so close to getting Showstopper, and that's why he might be playing aggressive outside A main. Maybe looking for exits here. But this is the Soniqs I think we were looking to see for a little bit on this map now. They're playing much faster than before. Pop executes, playing as that singular unit, and Pure there finds a little bit more damage. Lear falls. It's gonna lead Zeldris quite literally on an island, surrounded. The world's closing in on him, but at least he doesn't get taken down by the spike. Gets to keep that Vandal. A little bit of extra money in their pockets, but a really convincing round from Soniqs.
Yeah, that's the round that you need to see again. The Stinger not even needed. Pure R really taking matters into his own hands. Clearing out the site, helping clear out tower. Shonk was there to find that kill onto Jonah 6, I believe, as well. They did invest that Orbital Strike just to make sure that it was all clear. So that hurts a little bit that, you know, not a whole lot of value out of that. So Nerve going to be working his way back to that one. Nerve also having a pretty uncharacteristic day. He hasn't been able to be a lineup Larry. And although he was so much more than that the other day because his rifle was so good with the Astra and the Viper, he's been a bit more quiet. So we'll see if he starts to maybe shake off some of the rust, not playing for the last couple of days. Map number 2 might become his map. Zeldris plays the high ground. This is such a scary position for Soniqs to have to deal with, and we'll see if he can see over the top of the sky smoke. For now, it's farming simulator here.
Yeah, just, you know, farming the orbs. They grow naturally. GMO free. Looking good right now. There is that tripwire at the top of Satellite, though. That's going to be, again, a little bit trickier to get past than we had seen the last execute from Satellite. It has to be destroyed. I don't think you can blast back over that effectively without making too much noise. Look at Nilly, right below Satellite. This is a great read, but they are choosing to back off here. We're looking at maybe a 1v4, depending on Nilly's positioning.
Oh, no! Nilly lets it slip away. So unfortunate. Lear was able to get one back, but swiftly traded. I mean, that right there was an Uncle Rico throw if I've ever seen one. Mina could throw a football over the mountains. I believe it after he tossed out that hat. Still looking for some extra damage. That spike continues to tick. The trades are back and forth, but you cannot afford to trade 1-for-1 anymore when you're one player down. Now make it 2 players down as Jonah, the bank account, calling him, saying, hey, you do not have the funds for this, so he will back away and look to hang on to that Phantom.
Yeah, what a good fast push again from Soniqs. They did take a little slow in the early game. They put a lot of utility pressure on B. They rotate back over to Satellite, and again, the blast packs from Pure have yet to be contested. Whether that's him going to the top of that small little tower on A site, or even just below Black Box on Sands. Somehow Nilly didn't find that shot, but when you have that big, gigantic, like, ball of meteor pretty much crashing down on you, how can you expect to shoot a meteor? But that was a great showstopper coming out from Soniqs, and it cleared out so much space for them to take over the site. And so far, both sites really have been super effective for the team that they can choose to go wherever they want. It's more so just trying to figure out where they think the majority of OR could be and finally try to win out these rounds more. But big 4-stack outside of B site here. Not the right read against Soniqs, though. It's a fast push back over, and it's going to leave Jonah in a precarious spot. He now has to escape to the top of Satellite and just remain hidden.
Spike drop.
Hey, he is the guy that needs to stay alive, right? The only rifle on the team, and if not stay alive, at least die in a position where his teammates can retrieve this rifle. That's exactly what he's doing. Like you mentioned, Keg walks away from it all. Nobody on the top side of the map. It's all 5 on the south side of Fracture, 4 on the site. And I mean, they're going hunting for more. It looks like it's our esports season here for Soniqs.
Oh, Mina. Oh, Mina, there you go. Good for 1, and already in the back lines of spawn. Soniqs, they've taken everyone down except for the only person with a rifle, but at least showing to make sure it's not a flawless round. But unfortunately, it doesn't go beyond just a single kill. Nerf falls. And Soniqs, again, they have yet to really meet much opposition for OR, and we're getting similar strides, similar beats from what we had yesterday, Tanner. OR, they had a close game on Pearl, and it was close on Fracture too, but it was a big lead difference for them in the beginning. And Soniqs right now, every time they faced against OR, even before they were signed, this was always a losing map for them, but they've surely cleaned up their act. So we have to put on Coach Keg, Coach Tanner outfits right now. We have our suits on. You actually had a suit that was exactly like mine. We were both going to wear light gray. But, you know, it's okay. You put on your coaching outfit. Perfect. So what does OR do here? Because we've been seeing them gamble stack on a variety of sites trying to read early on for Soniqs, but oftentimes they're finding themselves in these situations where they're forced to rotate mid-round, which generally isn't that big of a deal, but it puts them in off positions where Soniqs are just able to get 1, 2, maybe even sometimes a 3K per player, depending on the site, where they're just completely uncontested. But with 15 seconds left before we get into round 7, we'll have to wait and see what the adjustment can be this time. I do like that tripwire at the top of Satellite. It slows down Soniqs for at least a little while, and maybe even has them second guess a little bit on what the next play can be. But they do have the right read here about the 2.5 stack outside of A site. There is that floater of Lear, and he's the half who kind of bounces between both A and B. But it's that slow descent over, and I like Zeldris here's that first point of opposition. Not gonna expect that operator. Oh, maybe they do. It's a little late for the swing, but Zeldris escapes. He's got that nade just in case. It won't destroy Nilly's tripwires anymore.
Powerless.
Ooh, that flash didn't actually land. Zeldris could see it all clear as day. He'll take the life right out of Pure R. Nilly holding it down on the site here. One just underneath, but dealt with this Shonk. No more pulses, means no more resurrection. The Null Command has since fallen off. HL's out to Rudy. Rudy's been undetected. Now he'll be known. The fault line caught him on his feet. Zeldris starts the round a little sleepy, but picks up 3 to wake up the rest of the defense, and or Esports get it done. But Keg, I don't know if that is the answer, right? You can't expect Zeldris to do that every single round, to dodge the flash, to hit the shots for 3 of them, for Nilly to go undetected. This takes a lot. I think what was working yesterday for Squirtle Squad is what Soniqs are doing today, where they're saying, hey, or Esports, they don't rotate for actually anything. They're so comfortable in playing retake, so let's bully them on the sites because we know we're going to have an advantage. If we move with 4, we know it's either going to be a 4v2 or a 4v3, and that's exactly what they're doing because or takes so long to rotate, and actually they don't fight for space either. They just sit on. What I would love to see from more Esports is another round like that from Zeldris, but also when some time is off the clock, start taking that space back. We're already seeing it from Zeldris. He's already walked his way up towards A main. I would love to see him continue onto the bottom side of the map and just post up so the rotation isn't free. But we go Rolling Thunder for Rolling Thunder, and unfortunately I might be speaking for a bit too long as the action's about to kick off, but it's stalled for now. Oh, beautiful spray, no way, Pure gifted 2 kills, and he wants some more as he tosses down the stim. Rooney, Nerve, Mina, the 3 that stand against the 5, and Mina stands no longer. It's Zeldris to take away the space to find the backstab. And now Rooney and Nerve have to go nuclear, and their positions have been revealed.
And it seems like they're listening to you right now, Tanner, because we were talking about how the surprise strats from OR coming out has been that win condition against Soniqs, but it's not consistent. But now just kind of waiting for a few beats and then pushing up. We saw Zeldris take down Mina, and that was so strong to remove all those tripwires. And now look at OR. They have plenty of freedom in the southern part of Fracture now to play around and catch out these rotates just like Pure. Good for 1, making it a 4K. A beautiful Sheets flawless there for OR, and they're back in the game. But going off what you said, though, Tanner, I'm inclined to agree. We're seeing very predictable stack-ups from OR. They're going for the same rotations. And again, even though we can see everybody in the minimap, the teams in the server cannot. But they have that intuition to know the reads, know the beats again of how OR like to rotate historically. And they're not really adjusting their tempo. Instead, Soniqs, they're going at a variety of different speeds, and they're using those surprise factors themselves to go up against OR. I do like Zeldris on that operator. He has been great for the opening pick every round that he's been able to have it so far. And I feel like that's a surprise strat that's slowing down Soniqs drastically. Look at the respect now. Zeldris takes down that opening pick, and now Soniqs aren't able to push into A anymore. They're forced to play slower and now rotate over to B, and look who's already there. It's Pure. Hot off of that 4K from before, already ready with that orbital strike for going for yet another. Molly goes down prematurely though, Nerve. Still looking for those gunfights blind. Zeldris propped up on a literal sniper's tower looking for Rooney. Has the right idea. For the southern part of the map now, Tanner, there's no way for Soniqs to push in without taking a fight.
Paint shell stall, aftershock. Not getting a whole lot done. Keep off the site for now. Lear. This is Lear's domain. Underneath heaven, he just feels so good as the rocket from downtown will sever Nerve. A flawless round again, courtesy of Sheets, and it's Zeldris, the tip of the spear once more.
This is so good. OR just feels so much more comfortable now in this server, and I think a lot of that has this freedom for Zeldris to kind of just be wild and go hunt for the opening pick. Find the beginning, find the end, find all the operator shots you want. That's what OR had been really using as their leverage. And so Soniqs on the timeout now. I feel like a lot of what they're talking about has to be, how do we avoid Zeldris in the beginning? And it's not even as simple as don't peek Zeldris. Remember, when the first round Zeldris got an operator, he was completely hidden. Well, okay. He was moderately hidden. He was playing an off angle looking in the satellite. It was Pure who strafed into him, immediately backed down, was like, no, I'm not dealing with that. So then what happens is Zeldris backs away, hidden from the field of view from satellite, avoids the fault line from Rooney, and then re-engages off of a blast packing Pure. You cannot expect an op shot to connect there every time. But the problem is, though, Zeldris is really dang good at it. He's so good about finding that opening pick no matter the situation. And so again, what do you have to do to counteract Zeldris here? He's 11-5 now, Tanner.
Yeah, and it's hard because it's not just Zeldris. Like, sure, yes, Zeldris is going crazy, but he's also got this pocket breach that is just working so well, right? Zeldris takes the shots, paint shells out, needs to get out of dodge with the op, and it allows Lear to swing from under heaven while his teammate hides safe in heaven on the A side. So the pocket breach is also a real thorn in the side for the Sonic squad, and now one round separates, 4 players stacked up here for Soniqs to hit this B site. It's not the best buy. They muster up what they can, buying for next tier. Smokes come down, operator to hold the line once more. Blast pack with a shot over the shoulder. Paint shells to try and help for the delay, but getting run down as Zeldris and Pure will finally get revenge. Sheriff shot over the shoulder, just as the op shot was previously. And the neural theft for information. It allows for so much as the rotations are coming from the top side, and the Stinger holds a close angle. It's only Nilly directly here on the side as the spike continues to tick, and guess what? It's Solid Snake in the back line once more for Pure.
Tanner, look at Nerve, beautiful kill. Taking them down, almost a mirror mode match once again. A 2v4 for the post plant. These defenders struggling now. What was a dominant round in the beginning, but now not so much. All that's left now is Pure VNS. A 1v1 against Pure, just arms the Stinger. Pure's got that showstopper. Looking to strike, doesn't connect. Yes, it does. Great for Pure. The battle of the Pures once again. Soniqs now 6 for the half. Good lord.
That was down to the wire, though, Keg.
It was. And I'm surprised because I misspoke and I said this was, you know, a bit of a dominant round from OR, and it wasn't at the time. Soniqs, they were able to take advantage of the fact that, well, I mean, not that they would have known, Zeldris was not looking at where the majority of the team was for the first time. And so all the sky smokes, all the chaotic utility, it prevented from that operator from succeeding. Luckily, though, round still won for Sonic's side, but there we go. Fast blast pack, Pure. Assuming that maybe the buys aren't there for the operator this time around, he'd be wrong. But again, Zeldris playing at an off angle. It's up to the owners of Nilly to hold the entirety of A by himself. And even that boom bot doesn't spot out the tripwire. No one on top of tower either. Oh no. OR, Tanner, they were doing so well about being right on top of Soniqs for these executes, but now they're playing safe again. I'm a little nervous. Because they were able to take these gunfights so well. And now they're giving more respect for SQ again, not pushing up, not allowing those setups. Soniqs might be able to take this back again.
Smokes down.
Yeah, seemingly trying to find control once more. Incendiary goes out. Pure VNS gonna have to try and hold onto the site. Oh no, he's actually done enough to stall, to delay. The rotations come through. And with that, Soniqs look to head elsewhere, but they're going right back into the trap. Zeldris here. Nilly has the util as well. And Mina maybe not going to be the best to help his team on the site because he's got an operator in his own hands. They push through Sands. Nerve to find the first. Lear tries to do it. The dynamic duo. They trade back and forth. Lear for Zeldris. A 2 for 2, and that spike still inside main. It's Mina to push on through to try and find the plant. And he's going to be holding here on the site with an operator, Keg. This does not feel good. We'll see if he can walk his way on out. He'll find the first. He's got the camera. Bolt line comes through. Fragment at his feet, and he survives for another. Zeldris stunned up. Looks to play the blast pack. It's going to be off the off as the shot goes through the wall. It lands to Mina. Zeldris is insane. He's about to do it again. There's not a lot of time, though. He's got to hop onto the spike, and Rooney gonna try and play this one perfectly as he looks to peek once more. We know what Rooney can do in these positions as that shot goes wide. The Phantom spam the cross, and Zeldris is him!
Is there time? Oh, just barely enough time. A second and a half left. The stall factor, though, from Rooney was really impeccable. You could see the accuracy of those shots off of the operator. And picking up that Phantom right away. And Mina too, operator v operator. Two least likely agents you would want to see the op on both have been able to find so much damage in doing so. But that pick up the Phantom right there, that was the clutch factor for Zeldris. What a great play. And now OR, they only need this last round to tie things up 6-6. And I was so nervous for OR in the beginning of that round because, again, they were playing so far back. Their rotates were a little slow at times, but they were right on the money for the post plan. And now the adjustment here, pushing up a little bit more aggressive. 0 point goes down, spots all of them out, but it's not going to stop them right away. Instead, though, they back off, though, after finding those initial shots. Mina's right on the other side, though, Tanner. It's a big crunch yet again, but one side of the jaws is a lot stronger than the other.
Prepare for hellfire.
Orbital strike. To force Pure off his angle. They try to walk him into the spam. Unfortunately, not a whole lot found. If anything, it's actually Pure R who had taken some damage at the end of it all. And Mina has always been the player comfortable with having that lesser weaponry. We'll see if it comes to fruition as Pure R already taken off the table. The 6-6 is looking quite doable here for OR Esports.
Yeah, but Soniqs is going to make that slow rotate back over. There's only 40 seconds left. We've seen what these rotates can do from Soniqs. Even if it is closer to the end of the round, it is explosive. But you've lost out on Pure. You can't gain that immediate space. You have to rely on utility more so here. You're nearly already finding those lines of sights, hiding away from the bullets towards the top of tower. The nades from Zeldris don't do much, but Nilly's good for that opening pick. Where are the others?
I know
Rooney
exactly
goes fishing, finds one. Jonah there to trade. Mina will grab another.
10 seconds left.
Hat comes off, positions revealed, and they have to try and get the spike planted, but they want to try and deal with Nilly first, and they do so successfully, but you're running out of time, and there's just enough for Nerve to get that spike planted. Spam through the box. Won't find the damage. Incendiary available, but not for the next second,
One
courtesy
enemy
of
remaining.
Jonah.
Last
6
player
0 point.
standing.
And I don't know if Mina was spotted, now for sure known. As that can comes out, the reload is there, and he repositions to try and take an aggressive fight just over the top of drop. And Mina does it for Soniqs. They bag the lion's share of our first half here on Fracture.
Switching side.
Oh, good vengeance too for A-Site.
Remaining.
Man, Lear, like you said, just dominating A-Site. And Zeldris was there too, of the operators, no less. But I mean, again, a big anchoring game comes out on Fracture when you're on the fence. And I'm a little surprised though, Tanner. A lot earlier on in Open Quals and LCQ, we were talking about how important Sentinel utility is for this map, but it really felt like, for the most part, it relied more so on that Breach and Brim combo. It was less about stopping power with tripwires and more so just blocking lines of sight, going for those stuns, and honestly, just swinging a whole lot and finding a ton of impact on kills. But what to do, it's OR back top satellite. Not a lot of tripwires though, coming from OR. Nelly only bought up one. It's placed right outside of the connector from B to A. A lot of noise being made here outside of satellites. Definitely tell Mina's very well aware of them now. Sky Smoke goes on top. But farming orbs is so important on this map. You have more orbs on this map than any other. And because of that, it's easy to get those early ultimates. And feeding them to whoever you can is so good. But back over to Arcade, an early push here. OR love to go for this early play. Shank is well aware of that too and chooses to back off, waiting for maybe that blast pack after those paint shells come out, but it hasn't yet. Pure's got a great angle for the first contact though.
Ruvat doesn't find too much. Pure atop the box. Decapitates one, but will fall himself. So we trade back and forth, 1 for 1. As a site not yet free. Nilly making it look just a bit more so as Mina finds one through the Sky Smoke. Cam doesn't necessarily grab the tag, so no extra information to be found off that one. The spike is planted for free. And a 3v3 here. A couple of members chipped away. Rooney and Nerve both sitting at 74 health. And on the opposite side, 70 stands for Jonah and Nilly. And they're all on the top side. A swap for the pistols. The right click doesn't land. Jonah happy to send 2 into the body of Mina and sit the Cypher down. Now the fault line comes through. Is Rooney gonna hop off to the spike? And it's just so overwhelming from OR Esports.
Another round in their pockets, getting ever closer to tying the game up yet again. We saw a close game on Pearl, and then a lead-away charge for OR. And if they're able to convert this next round, they had the better weapons here. They may very well tie it up. Soniqs, though, they have to play this very cautiously. They can't buy as much utility as they normally could. They only have Sheriffs to work with. And Pure does have their nades. No Boombot either. But that was a really good take from OR. They were able to convert out a lot of that linear aggression outside of Arcade. And he collapsed on the site. Now the response here from SQ, playing right outside B main yet again. Maybe trying to catch out OR before they can make their way fully in the A lobby. But that tripwire, again, in the way. Mina's choosing to respect it. 0 Point doesn't spot anybody, at least on the corners of A. No one pushed up aggressively there. Allows a free take for the orb. Soniqs themselves, at least they have a presence on A. Nervous by themselves. Everyone else on the extremities. Choosing to hide, looking to use that sky smoke as a friend to help the push out. And maybe buying time for those on the lurk, especially Mina. Pings go down. There's no action just yet from OR. Everyone's at a standstill right now, Tanner.
Cooling down.
These pings are good, but it doesn't amount to much. This 0 Point, though, should lead the charge. It's gonna spot out Nerve. Can't use that utility anymore. He's already been suppressed, but now there's the entry. Zeldris is on top of the site.
And Zeldris all the way out. Not even the player that dealt with Nerve. Pure next up to the plate, and unfortunately he struck out as Rudy gets one back. Headshot lands. Oh, the Sheriff does its job in taking down one, but an anti-eco that goes as expected. Or Esports explode onto A, and they tie us up at 7.
And it was just such a blink of an eye of a round. We were hyping up this execute, and then boom, you blink for a microsecond, the round is over. Everyone's just gone. And we talked about how important these rifle rounds are. This is, again, possibly one of the last true real tests for Soniqs here. They have their full armor, well, they have their full rifles, but they don't have full shields. And look at how little utility can be bought by some. No fragment grenade for Shank. Mina's able to full buy all of their utility. But again, aggression's met with aggression here. Soniqs have been able to find a lot more impact with that. But again, it amounts to nothing. Instead, OR choose to back away, re-engage so far pretty much in their own spawn. But Soniqs are already well on their way to rotating A. It's what they've grown to expect from OR and how they play their attacking rounds. But they might be in for a big surprise, Tanner. Especially Pure, looking the wrong way. Waiting for somebody to approach on Arcade that will never come. But at least now there's a friend. Pure has Shank to work with.
Gets the paint shells out just in time. 0 Point for the info as to how many are playing on this site. But look at this. The rotations come through for the defense, sure, but Nilly's calling over the Calvary. Says, guys, this one's free. Let's take this here. Tosses out the cage. Try and block Vincent. Rooney, though, quickly at the cage. Pops. So does the Grape of Nilly AZ.
Planted.
And look at that full site control now in the favor of OR. Only Sands is hotly contested for the defense. They have to take re-control of this before they can approach the site. Though the only one on site right now is Lear, armed with nothing but a Sheriff to try to take everybody else down. It's up to this 2-1 split for Mina and Nerve. They'll use this effectively to take down Lear, but he's dodging, weaving, dodging everything and taking down Mina. Both Cyphers are gone.
And the dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Lear's still alive, and there's 4 players worrying about this one guy playing on top of the spike. Now Nerve gonna hop on, try and stick to the fuse. Look at Rooney starting to cut him down, but the incendiary didn't buy enough time. The spike is ticking its halfway. Low HP, no way! Jonah's able to get it done with .11, and it's an eBay clutch for OR Esports.
In the time it took you to say eBay clutch, it was so many tenths of a second. That's how long it took in between the round deciding factor. Unbelievable. And look at Rooney again. This post-plant spray, the triple there, or the double, held out so effectively of just keeping Soniqs at bay. But, or OR at bay, I should say. But, now OR take that small lead. They're ahead by a single round. And again, these are coming down to the wire much more than before. It's the true last chance for Soniqs now that they've squandered that away. If they keep losing this lead even more and more, they might be completely out by losing out 2-0 for the series. Rooney's already down by 1. A full thrifty round coming out from SQ's side. They're just going for it. They're trying to find as much eco damage as they can. The kill feed looking like a Christmas tree. It's Lear finding yet another, but Zell just wastes that showstopper. And all that's left now is Mina with a stinger. Some economic damage was found though, Tanner. 3 left alive for Mina to deal with. And right in the arcade, this is perfect for the spray for a stinger.
Yeah, Zeldris low in HP too. He could find another one, deal some extra damage. You should know that 2, if not 3, are pushing their way through tower. He's gonna work his way up the ropes. Knife is out, another kill found. Jonah falls. Spike is planted in the aftershock to keep Mina from walking over towards site, so he'll wait this one out. Now we'll see. Zora Esports, they double up inside tower, but they're looking to give ones over to this stinger. We know how strong it can be. Fault line out, 54 HP and stunned up as he hops back into the cam. Nobody's on the other side, buddy. They're right here in front of ya. And Zeldris will close it out with 3 kills on it, working back towards that showstopper.
Yeah, and let's talk about how in a 2v1, still we didn't see any overextension from OR. It easily could have been the factor that Raze could rotate from the bottom of rope and try to go for a mini flank against Mina, but instead, OR chose to play it safe. They held top of tower, they knew they could both watch each other's backs, and Mina was limited in options by all of Breach's utility. Aftershock made sure that there was only a linear path, top of tower. Mina opted not to go there, but it reduced the amount of options Cypher could have in the post plant. And because of that, OR now take the lead by 2 rounds. Another rifle round again in the favor of SQ. Pure's close again, though, to that showstopper. In fact, almost everybody in SQ either have their ultimate or just a few orbs away from getting it in their possession. That's going to make the rest of the game a lot more hairy, depending on how they manage their ultimate economy. Same can't really be said for OR. Few close calls for their ultimates to be gained, but again, the eyes right now on Soniqs. They're choosing to have a lot of floaters here. Almost a 4-stack over the B, and this would be the right read against OR. But those tripwires are divided out between both sides, and that one's placed so far back, it's practically for an arcade push. And that means all that pressure is going to be on to Shunk. A little bit on Pure too. Make that a triple contact onto the site. It's all a game of hiding. And appearing at the very last possible second.
Pure with the high ground. He's stunned, however. Shonk, now would be a time to show up. The best time possible. Picks up his 2. Pure will grab his 1. He waits out the fault line stun. Now Nilly wants to go aggressive into Canteen, but Rooney swiftly deals with that. Soniqs, although we were at a lull in the round for quite some time, they've snapped out of their lull and are looking to find their 8th. The only person standing in their way is Jonah 6.
At best right now, if you're OR, you're trying to get Soniqs to use their ultimates here on a 1v4. It's not going to happen, but that's like the most miracle play you could possibly hope for. Mina taking a wealth of damage. The fault line hitting from below the site. And yeah, a bit of a quiet round there. But Soniqs do reclaim their first round in quite some time. They only need 1 more to tie it up, and yeah. Ever since we swapped sides, it's been a 4 round streak for OR. They're really good about converting these rounds, and Soniqs, now that they have their rifles back, they're able to find a little bit more stability. And I can only imagine with this round now in their belt on top of those ultimates, they should be good about collapsing upon OR for these slow attacks more than once. But you know what? OR, they're not going to choose to swap different sites. They're going to re-engage on B main yet again. So silent. It's almost like you can hear the heartbeats of each of these players. Let me tell you, Tanner, my heart would be racing right now if I was in this match in the server.
It would be the cold, clammy, sweaty hands.
Oh, don't remind me. Ew. Like the one where you can barely touch your mouse.
Exactly. The one where you don't want to touch your mouse. I have a white mouse. This bad boy gets dirty quickly. Just things are getting messy. Here on the B site, fault line out inside the sky smoke. One will play, that's Shonk, and he's just gonna wait and bide his time and allow his teammate to cook as Pure R finds the first and delays with the paint shells off of the alt orb. Lear gonna wait for a moment, and now he's got that Rolling Thunder online.
Sky smoke is down, but already Pure's making that charge to go silent underneath the map. Nerve isn't aware of that. The jump peaks are there. And Lear's waiting for a flank that will never come.
30 seconds
Mina's
left.
by themselves on A. A 4-stack outside of B, every single angle covered. Not only just once, but twice over. With 20 seconds left, it seems unlikely to rotate over to A. And it's a standstill. Nobody's pushing each other. Only one player has died this round. And this could be a 9-person save. Nobody's going for anything. And
chat, look away. Chat, don't chat. I don't want to hear anything from chat. What just happened in this round?
all is quiet on the fracture front. I've never seen a round like that. That's how I feel right now. Little blaster dog polar bear man. He's looking radical.
I'm speechless. It just goes to show, I guess, how important Zeldris is to this team. And if he gets spammed through smoke, the round is just over. That right there has to feel so good for Soniqs to know that Zeldris is the raid boss, and all they have to do is take him down, and the rest of the players are ads, right? The rest of the players they're the like Jad minions. Healers. Yeah, exactly.
Go, my minions, go! But Zeldris is leading that charge yet again. And OR had the round to spare, and we're back to a tied game. Everybody's outside arcade. Shonk is ready. And the Rolling Thunder return does disrupt Shonk. That might lead to his death, and it does.
A beautiful flash after 2. Shonk just couldn't wrap his head around the situation, and 2 kills go the way of OR Esports nice and early. And it was that raid boss to find the first kill, and it's looking like a full wipe is imminent. It's Pure VNS
exactly
waiting in the wings, about to get some information. Rooney collects an alt orb. We'll find another one postpartum as Mina and Nerve now try and stabilize. Yeah, posthumously is what it is. Posthumously, excuse me.
No, I'm with it. The ghosts are in the air right now. One left alive. It's up to Mina. Trying to find those shots, but been discovered in the process. And Soniqs, that was like almost a miracle round to be able to tie things up, and they met this early round with aggression, but it backfired so much. And even with Zeldris going down, at least this time there was a response from OR. Not too late for Mina though to make some action, but Jonah says otherwise. Double digits now, and what could very well be the final map of Last Chance Qualifiers, Tanner, goes into OR's favor. They only need 3 more to qualify.
You said that about Pearl, and Pearl got probably a little too close. He said, or Esports only need 3 more, and they did eventually close it out, but got a little shaky.
That goes there.
But we like the shakiness. We want to see those upsets. We want a story to tell. And this has been a heck of a series to tell a story about. And look at this. The return of Mina up. Right outside A main. This could be good for the opening pick against Jonah. But Mina plays slow, and the 0 point affects them. They don't know about the operator, though. They don't know about Mina having that op. But regardless, though, OR might be playing directly into it, and because they were so slow, Mina has time to reposition.
Thank goodness. I wasn't sure if they were going to invest anything into getting the players off the angle here. Orbital Strike splits them up, but it doesn't do the damage. They're safe in the corners. So they'll back away from it. No harm, no foul. Mina gonna go back on the angle, still suppressed, can't pop the cage to escape if he does get run down, but the only person to do it would have been Zeldris, and he has since been dealt with. So the cages go up, Mina gets away. OR Esports working a player down, and hey, 2 rounds ago, this was a call to save. We'll see if it's the same.
I like this play from Jonah. He's hiding in that small box. You're not expecting that if you're a defender and you try to lurk up for the flank. Nilly, though, has a lot of action up against them, though. Shonk not able to find the shots met in response to the fault line. And nobody engages. Instead, Pure finds the fight with Jonah instead.
30 seconds left.
And, I mean, there's still 2 defenders here, though, right? Jonah's doing so much to keep them planted on this side. It's a 3v3 directly here out towards B as the fault lines come through. Aftershock to lay a push onto Lear to allow him to sneak away as we go Aftershock for Aftershock, and Nilly just trying to survive the util dump. Meanwhile, all the way out towards spawn is an orbital strike with no incendiary, now going across the top as well as Pure VNS as Nilly will find the first. He's traded out. Lear and Pure VNS now going to try and work hand in hand. Both out towards Arcade. 0 point to reveal, but just in time the orbital strike comes through and Pure will find another. Pure R, however,
remaining.
gonna hop onto the spike, and Rooney gonna play bodyguard to try and keep him alive, but with 33 HP, he's sticking it to tie us up at 10.
Oh, all of these rounds coming so close to the wire. Pure just barely able to get that orbital strike down on Spike before the 0 point nearly took that opportunity away. It doesn't matter though. Soniqs were still able to convert the round. Another defuse. Talk about Mina on the op again. That late lurk paid off in dividends because of Jonah's lurk. Jonah had such a great time with the distraction, but despite Pure being on the other side of the map for so long, it was a great attempt, but it had little impact. Pure was still able to get that defuse, and OR go for another timeout. It's their last one. We have to go back to our coaching outfits, Tanner, and see what's to do next. Honestly, again, even from the last timeout to now, OR, they've sped up their game quite a bit. They're trying to get into those mind games and counteract Soniqs and whatever oddities they want to bring out each round. But there's been less oddities, other than that full 9-person save. It's more so relying on just fast execs again, looking into play for post plans almost exclusively, and how they can configure their way to find a weak spot in the defenses to push into A and push into B. And it's been working out well, Tanner, but right now, these next few rounds could change the fate of American Challengers.
That goes there.
So what's the setup going to look like here? We've been seeing a lot of satellite-based pushes.
Launching
We've been seeing a lot of B-main pushes. This time, though, it's almost like a default play for OR. Spike's at the top of the map now. The only one that could be close is Mina on the operator. Satellite hasn't been contested much in this second half, but setting up for an arcade exec, Pure and company seem to be ready.
And the pocket breach for OR becomes pocket KO for Soniqs. As Pure R and Shonk been working hand in hand here on this B site. Nerve also here to try and stall, and it's just the Cyphers on the right side of the map out towards A. And they're back to back.
It's a
Holding for
4v4.
late lurks, 0 point out. Okay, both players spotted. Smokes are down and up towards tower. One will go. Aftershock to clear out generator. Shonk gonna try and back away, play a close angle. Holding towards arcade. Aftershock once more to stop the push. And a lot of util just to delay this, but they're trying to take the fight out of tower. Pure Van S gonna find that trade kill. Pure R still alive, however, and Smokes down now as Nerve collects that
30
kill
seconds
on the
left.
Brimstone of Aura Esports, and with 30 seconds on the clock, can you even re-hit? Look at the crunch from the top side. Mina slowly but surely with the operator. Finds
One
the kill,
enemy
finds the
remaining.
spike. Rooney collects another. And now Zeldris. Zeldris has been good. And he's made it look possible with a classic, but with 12 seconds, no spike.
10 seconds left.
And Soniqs all over the place. Zeldris just forced to back away from it all.
Yeah. Again, the economy not looking great for Zeldris and company. Attempted forced to keep the rifle. It's Pure there to take down their mirror match. Soniqs now, 1 round away from match point to tie up the series, 1-1 maps. A showstopper to work with for OR, no ultimates at all for Soniqs. And that was such an odd round because OR looked like they had site control, or at least for the most part, they gained tower. And then they chose to back the spike away. And so this might be a round 2 to Electric Bugaloo in, hopefully make sure that they can use the spike to effectively get on site this time, and there's less bodies now to worry about. Soniqs, though, positioned heavily outside satellite. Mina does have that operator still, and Pure's there for the opening contact. May try to hide away. Nilly's going to definitely focus on Mina first. What a good slay. That's Nilly to fall, and look at this. It opts into a lot more rotates. Jonah already on site.
Flash out.
And Jonah finds one. Stingers will help to find another. Rooney sprayed to the sky smoke, narrowly missing out on finding Lear, who's
enemy
just
remaining.
creeping through Canteen with his knife out. And Pure are happy to dispatch of those 2 attackers, now turned defenders. It's Zeldris, the only one that remains. A showstopper and a headshot. There's nobody better in these situations. Pure are gonna hold the angle. Flash goes out. A bit more HP. Satchel to try and keep him at bay. He's gonna look to deal with that. It's heaps of damage down to 69 as he continues to jiggle. He'll just be the 4th for Pure R.
And that's match point for Soniqs. They played a clean retake again. They were able to read where they think that initial initiation would be. And with Nilly falling so quickly, it just opens up opportunities for Soniqs to rotate around the map. So Nilly, thinking that they were safe, immediately mowed down. Wasn't a good start to the round, and the punish was a rippling effect over to the round loss. 12-10 for OR. And you're right, Tanner. I did mention that, you know, they were only a few rounds away from qualifying for Challengers, and then Soniqs.
I don't know why you said that. I don't know why you said that, Keg.
I'm so sorry, OR. I'm so sorry. You can blame me. It's okay. But let's see what Soniqs can do. What very well could be the final round of map 2. Playing aggressive again. Mina here with the operator. Just like Zeldris when they were on the defense. Consistent with these opening picks and the invisible pressure too. Man, I gotta stop talking.
Yeah, Mina unfortunately flashed up, taken down. Shonk there to trade though. Shonk having a quiet game, but again, no better time to start to come alive than right now when you can close out the map. Aftershock, just after the Rolling Thunder orbital strike, try and open up some space as well, and Nervous just on the other side of the Molly. He's gonna go aggressive, but he's answered by Nilly. To the side of the head is a 0 point. Will confirm 2 suppressed, but will also slow down the util from the initiators at the very least for the next few seconds with the spike planted for Esports. And a great spot to hold on to this. No post plan available now for Pure as he's tossed out the Molly.
Showing us left on an island. Pure trying to hide, does take down the other Pure, the showstopper no longer there. OR keep it in the game, a great round win, 11-12. Finally, the arcade execute works well, and a lot of that had to do with the opening initial flash. We're not seeing OR really take advantage of these flashes early round, and very rarely have they actually converted into an opening pick. That being said though, a great util dump from top arcade, disrupted Mina, lost the operator, lost their life. And now Rooney does have that Rolling Thunder. Can be great for the post plan here. We couldn't quite see Pure use that showstopper, but Zell just has one now instead. Aggression met with aggression outside B, but it's the wrong angle. Immediate showstopper to the top of tower. Fault line though, stopping Zeldris in his tracks. Oh, Mina. Oh, Mina again! 2 showstoppers in a round, no longer effective.
Oof, and a good angle to play spam through the sky smoke, but nothing there. Unfortunate that those smokes were just a second late and Zeldris could not get the rocket off. A beautiful fault line from Rooney. Made sure that he was slowed in his tracks. Pure now flashed up. They're trying to play the cross here. Here's that Rolling Thunder you mentioned earlier in the round. We'll see if Nilly gets dealt with. No, he'll find one. But you have to go positive on these trades. You can't go even. You're already a player down as Orbital Strike forces the player forward. Now Pure, the last one standing. Incendiary at his back. He'll look to take the fight. A rifle in the hand for Mina, and Soniqs have done it. The last round of regulation. They finally collect their thoughts. They retake the site. And they push us to a map 3.
The first time Soniqs have ever won Fracture against OR. It was a long time coming. Every series, a slam dunk for OR, or stealing lunch money from way back when. But now the tides have turned. It was a dominant map 1, a reverse dominance of map 2, and now we're coming down to the equalizer of Bind to see who can take it out up top. And I gotta say, operators were kind of the MVP for this map, I want to say. We've been seeing so much Fracture in last chance qualifiers, but not really ever as op heavy as this one. And the strength of that weapon in of itself, everyone who's played Valor ever knows. But the way it was used specifically here to shut down a lot of entries for these attackers was a strong pivotal point, especially for Soniqs in their defensive half, to stifle OR. I mean, that one round when there was a 9-person save, wasn't that based off of an operator play in the beginning? And if it wasn't, it was such a great way of shutting down OR before the round could even start.
Yeah, I also want to mention, I meant to do it on Pearl. I don't think we got to see it on Pearl, but the thorn in the side for OR when they were playing Pearl yesterday against Squirtle Squad was the Cypher op, right? It was the harmful op. And once Mina got an op in his hands, it seemed pretty difficult, right? It wasn't just necessarily the op, but having so many options for it, whether it be Pure R or Mina for that Sonic squad, it just makes sense that their defense becomes eventually lockdown defense. And fortunately, they've blessed us, Keg, with a map 3. Obviously, fighting for this last spot, these two teams. It just makes sense that we have a third one, and that third one will be Bind. But before we go, we want to give thanks to our friends over at Soniqs for being a partner for this event. And if you often feel you're losing control of your gaming controller thumbsticks, Daznarth, I'm looking at you. Soniqs thumbsticks grips give you an unprecedented grip and increased radius for increased accuracy. And they're available for low rise, high rise, or medium rise. And they fit on your PS4, your PS5, your Switch Pro, or your Xbox controllers. So you guys can check them out. They're available now at Amazon.com/Soniqs. And while you guys are doing that and getting yourself some thumb grips, we're going to hop away and get things set up. And we'll catch you guys over at the teleporters on Bind.